Welcome to Proudly Said, bold voices and real stories. I'm John Hyland, Scouse, queer, and still trying to make sense of it all. This space is for the stuff we don't always say out loud, but probably should. Let's get into it. So we're back in my home. I actually quite like the setup. When I first started doing this, I was like, I'm not doing it in my home. My home is not aesthetic as sort of.
I think it looks stun.
I mean, I've got to move the whole thing, like, but
You don't need convenience for the pod.
rejig it all. But I'm loving the lovely tonal voices, the tonal inclinations that I'm getting here from the fabulous Dr. Rory McGill.
Yes, you can tell I'm not a local.
No,
Yeah.
you're from the Emerald Isle.
Yes, a Derry Girl, born and bred. Yeah, born and raised, I should say.
Yeah, don't say that on an LGBTQ podcast. Bloody hell.
Yes. So yeah, Derry Girl, and Derry Girls was actually a documentary. It's so accurate.
You know what? I heard this when I lived over there in Northern Ireland. The amount of like people, specifically like my ex's mum. There's some journalists that I saw talking about it online, like that, saying that was their childhood.
Legit, like that age group, the 90s, like that was literally because what was good about it was obviously like the tail end of the Troubles was happening, but we all had childhoods. We all, like, things happened. We all had lovely times. It's just this was going on in the background.
Yeah,
like,
it was just there.
Yeah,
It was just checkpoints.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
just military walking around.
Yeah. Oh, armed guards, lol. Like, lol. Like this was all just going on. So, and obviously we were at the tail end of it, so it wasn't as bad for like my age group growing up. But that's what I really loved about Derry Girls, because it was still really funny. People from home are good crack.
Yeah.
Do you know? Yeah.
I did look. The thing I miss about over there was the people.
Aye.
The
And the
people.
tobacco onions and the taco sauce. No, I love Liverpool, but you need the tobacco sauce or the tobacco onions and the taco
Yeah,
sauce.
I think because you get that in chippies and everything,
Yes,
don't you? And I think
everywhere.
I think when my ex's like mom visited for the first time and we got a takeaway, they were like, "Where's the onions?" I was
Yes.
like, what? What
Yeah.
do you mean?
Yeah.
Then it went on everything over there, literally everything. So how long have you been over here?
I have been in Liverpool for 13 years. And I moved over on a 3-month contract with the University of Liverpool with not a notion of what I was doing in my life. I came over on the boat holding my portable TV, like literally.
TV.
Yes, my portable TV and my games console in a backpack. And literally was just like looking out of the boat. I'd never been to Liverpool before. I was just like, well, this is it.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I was working in Starbucks in Derry with a PhD. And
Typical, yeah.
there was no, because a PhD doesn't get you anything. They tell you, oh, do your PhD. And then I was like, cool, that's awesome. And I loved my job in Starbucks.
Please
I really
tell me
did.
that you made the other staff refer to you as doctor.
Well, they did anyway, but I didn't do it. But I was fired. So what? Yeah, but he did me a favor. So basically my manager, I loved him, Gareth. His name was, and he basically came in one day and was like, you can't work here anymore. And I was like, I'm dead good at making coffees, leave me alone. And he was like, you have a chance to leave. You have a chance to get out of here. And I always, I know. So he was like, you need to start applying for like jobs, because there was no jobs in Derry for psychology. PhD was what my background was. So then I started looking. It was my friend Rachel looked at the job in Liverpool and she was going for it. And she was like, you should go for it. I went for it and got it.
Poor Rachel.
Sorry, Rachel. And I've been here since. That was 3. But I feel like Liverpool's that little halfway house between Ireland and England.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I don't feel like I'm not at home, and I've always felt like that. And I read somewhere recently, no, you can correct me on this if I'm wrong, that
I know the answer.
if you're somewhere more than 10 years, you can be considered a local.
Oh God, yeah, I would
Yeah.
say so. If anything, it's especially with Liverpool,
Yeah.
it's the honorary Scouser.
Well, yeah. So I'm obviously a Derry head through and through,
Yeah.
but like, I'm not leaving Liverpool. Like, I love it here. I love the crack. I love the people. I love the city. I love just the opportunities here.
Yeah.
And my job is in public health, and Liverpool is actually the place where public health started.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You know, it's not a political thing, but it kind of is because it's local authority. The amount of political things that started in Liverpool,
Right.
people don't realise.
Yeah. So public health, interestingly, is, so do you know the Raz in town?
Yes.
So the first ever director of public health was born upstairs in that building.
What?
Yep. I don't know when, but his name, now this gets better. His name was Dr. Duncan, as in Dr. Duncan's in town, for all those who know, they know.
Wow.
Yes, that's the first ever director of public health.
We're full of references in this city,
Yes.
clearly.
Oh no. But then whenever I moved over, because I didn't know any of that, I won't lie, but I didn't know what public health was.
How many loads of people still don't?
No. So went into university because I was working in psychology for 3 months, and then there was a redeployment came up for public health, and I thought, well, I'm not going back to Derry, so
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. Stumbled into it. Didn't know what I was doing. Does anybody know what they're doing? But went into public health and then realized I was sat in an office with like people from Mexico. There was people from Japan. And I was like, why are so many people dying to come to Liverpool to do this? And Well, that was my ignorance, because Liverpool's where you cut your teeth in public health.
That's so interesting.
Yeah,
I was about
yeah.
to jump on you saying, yeah, but in 2008 we were the world in one city. But
Oh,
no,
yeah.
it's just because public health originated here.
Yeah, and I think it's the links as well with like the slave trade,
Yes.
and there was tropical diseases and things back then, so there was more of an impetus for we need to understand what's going on.
This was just the base for it all.
Yeah,
That's so...
I know.
I fucking learned something. Jesus.
Every day's a school day.
I do enjoy treating my city as a tourist sometimes, though. I do. Get on the magical mystery tour bus or something that goes around there. I love that though, because I think so many people talk about like, they wanted to do this, they wanted to do that, but then they fell into something and managed to somehow get all the way up the ladder.
I know. I still don't know how that's happened.
But it has.
Well, it has. I know sometimes I'm like, this is just a weird dream sequence. I'm going to wake up in Starbucks in Derry again.
That would be a weird fever dream.
Yes. Yeah. A lot older and none the wiser, I would say. But
Still a doctor.
Still a doctor. Yeah. Still a doctor. Can't take that from me. But no, so I find that with public health, a lot of people that I speak to, they're kind of like, this was never the plan.
Yeah.
Because it's so broad. Public health's everything from obesity to suicide prevention to communicable diseases like flu, HIV, things like that. So it's everything. It's what keeps you well, isn't it? So you can't really wake up one morning and go, I want to do the thing that's everything. Do you know? It's a really unusual career path.
So when you say like you kind of fell into it, it's just because there was a role
There was a role at the university. So I was a researcher.
Wow.
And then I found out about there's something called the Public Health Training Scheme.
Okay.
Which is basically the equivalent of you training to be a medical consultant in the hospital, but it's the only one that's open to non-medics like me. So even though I had a PhD, so loads of people think I'm a medic because I'm a mouth and an arse and I'll put doctor in front of everything. I literally, tangent, but the day after I got my PhD, I walked into Ulster Bank and was like, change my bank card.
Don't blame you.
I was like, I am Dr. McGill, but yeah, so it's one of those where I trained for 5 years to be a consultant, but then COVID happened, that little thing that happened. So I was thrown into the deep end, just as I qualified, and that's all been in Sefton. And that's where I'm now director of public health, and just love it, loving life, loving the job, loving helping, giving people a voice. Because I understand, like a lot of residents that have the worst health outcomes tend to be from more deprived areas.
Yes, absolutely.
I've grown up in a really deprived area. I know what it's like when things are tough, and to be able to have that lived experience, but also give people voice as well at the same time.
To allow them to say like, well, this is the issue. Because I think I don't know if this is even connected, but like from some conversations I've had recently, there's like, and things I've seen online and on like, news cycles at the minute, there seems to be a lot of conversations around like people. Oh, he's a pen in the bum. Theo is sat on Rory's lap at the minute. For those who can't see, is not that I'm not criticizing GPs or anything of the sort this way, but not necessarily diagnosing in a correct timeline. And people are like, "Listen to me. I know my body." I mean, there were also other issues of people being a bit hypochondriac. But so I think having someone who can be like a champion for, we do need to like listen to people.
Yes, listen to people, and prevention's key. Like, why wait until someone's a patient? Keep them well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we do live in a world of reactivity.
Yes.
And it
Oh,
frustrates
God, yes.
the hell out of me.
Yes.
And that's across the board.
Yes, and most people are well. Most people are well, so keep them well. What can we do to keep them well? Keep them well. If I go to bed and I can think I've kept people well, I've done my job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like at the moment I'm talking a lot with things I'm involved with. Obviously, this massive ketamine issue at the moment. And Merseyside's one of the biggest bloody hotspots for it, which is horrendous. But yeah, I think you're right. Let's keep that moving, keep that going. But I just want to take a little step back a moment, because obviously I used to live in Northern Ireland, lived in Ballymena, and when I first moved there, all I got from people like either people I met there who were like similar age to me, or who I knew over here who were from Northern Ireland. Why the fuck have you gone to Ballymena?
I was going to ask that.
My ex is originally from there. His family
that
was
makes
from there,
sense.
so that's why we went there.
I've been once.
Yeah,
It was okay.
it's a nice town in terms of like the town.
Yeah.
But it's a bit interesting. I loved my time there, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But what was it like as like a young queer guy growing up in Derry?
In Derry? Well, I came out at 14. And I grew
Wow.
up in a very Catholic home, Catholic home. My mom would like, the Sacred Heart was up in every room. Like she'd go to church like 3 times a week, or mass as we would say in Derry. And I told her, and she woke up the next morning and all religious paraphernalia was taken down. Like she she was like, if the church doesn't accept you, I don't accept the church. And that was it.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, I know. And I never, because that was her social outlet. I didn't want her to do that.
Yeah.
I didn't expect her to do that, but my mom's awesome. Like she just kind of like went, no, that's it. She's very black and white. My mom, she's very like, that's that chapter done.
Yeah.
this is happening.
You're my son. You're here. You're constant.
Yeah. So then I never really had, because we grew up in such deprivation, we had bigger problems than my sexual orientation. School was different. School was hard. I went in all boys Catholic grammar, which you can imagine was fun.
Yep.
Yeah, the bishop lived on the grounds. But I was really lucky because I had such good friends, but we were the weirdos, the freaks. We would listen to like Marilyn Manson, throw in a bit of Kylie, a bit of Britney.
From Marilyn Manson to the Blondies. I love that.
There's a lot in common there.
I love that.
And they're all divas. And the kind of the thing that my mantra is always like, what would Buffy do? Because I'm so obsessed with Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That's such a rewatchable series. Like, oh my God, like, you're right there, lad.
Loves Buffy.
Clearly. Oh yeah, he's had to sit over there and watch me rewatch it multiple times. Yeah, I feel like there's an episode for every situation. You go,
totally.
I need to decompress. Let's put this Buffy episode on.
Yes, it's good for the soul. Yeah. But I think, what would Buffy do? So like, Buffy had brilliant, resilience and stuff like that. And I think that I'm quite a resilient person, but she had brilliant friends around her, which is why she's the Slayer that was able to...
With the Scoobies.
So I've always had good Scoobies, not that they're side characters in my life. They have their own agency and lives, but I'm always surrounded by... I have wonderful... Chosen family is really important to me.
Yes, of course.
I don't really have a large connection to biological family. Beyond like my immediate family. So chosen family for me has always been like at the pinnacle of how I smash life, really. And yeah, just surround yourself with good people and good things happen.
I do enjoy that, because I think with some people, and you see that, especially for queer people, that chosen family is so incredibly important. So then, to be fair, that's actually quite a nice little story, because sometimes you think like the young queer boys from Northern Ireland are like, just get out. It's the brain drain of Northern Ireland, isn't it? Of getting out. It's even more so of that. That's one thing I did get when I was in Ballymena. It's like all the queers in Ballymena, because there's a lot, are all in Belfast.
Yes. Yeah. And the Belfast scene, because I was out at university at Queen's, like 2004.
Oh, wow. Don't know how old I was then.
Oh, were you born?
I was born 13. 13, turning 14.
Christ. And it was a really unfriendly scene. It was really unfriendly. But now the Belfast scene is probably my favourite.
It's interesting, because I find cause a lot of people in Liverpool are kind of complaining about the fact that like our gay scene seems to be getting smaller, venues have closed, and opportunity. For the most part, Belfast is 3 venues. Yeah. One gets criticised quite a lot at the minute. The Russian one.
Yes.
But Mavericks and oh my God, what's
Boombox.
And Boombox. Yeah. No. Mavericks and
Shoe Factory.
Is it
Union Street Bar.
Union Street. Yeah. Let me say that again. So you've literally got Mavericks and Union Street, and it's like there's 2 bars. Obviously, you've got Boombox above Mavericks. Is that above Mavericks?
Yes.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I know. But they're so connected, and they've got little food vendors and stuff outside of an evening, and it's covered, and people are just chatting, having their curry chips, and it just feels like really welcoming, and it's so lovely to see that now. And Liverpool scene, I never really found a space here, I would say, but I think that's because that's like the nighttime economy I'm thinking of. Whereas I think the Liverpool scene, in terms of like creatives, in terms of like Mike and Joe doing the collaborative, and like Dyslexia and Funny Boys and stuff like that, like I think the sense of community in Liverpool is quite strong, and I felt very welcomed in that space, very much so, particularly because I'm a bit of an unusual one, because I'm coming in with like a health standpoint. I'm not really a creative, but I think that there's an overlap there, because I think through the arts and culture, people can really find their own footing.
Well, I feel like, especially, I think there definitely is an overlap when it comes to like creativity and health in a way, because it's people's escapes, people's outlets.
Yes.
It's how people like get by. It's definitely mine.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. And so many like poorer young people don't have access to the means to explore the creative arts.
No,
it's gatekept from them. So it's finding out ways to unlock that potential in our young people, and anybody of any age really. But I have definitely found that I find that Liverpool as a region, the city region, so friendly, so welcoming. Like I'm not leaving. You're stuck with me now. Like,
so where are you currently based right now, without doxing yourself?
So I live in Egberth.
Of course, by Lark Lane.
Well, I'm a Lark Laner. I've always been a Lark Laner. I had a stint in Bootle that I lived in, but I lived in Egberth. I've always been. And whenever I moved to Liverpool, I moved to Lark Lane.
Yes.
So I've always that's home in Liverpool. And my best friend lives in. So we both came over. He came over a year before me, and he lives in Lark Lane as well. So it's brilliant, because it's like having home here, and here is home as well.
Yeah, I get you.
So it's brilliant. But that's the thing. We all leave, and then at Christmas back in Derry, it's like floods of people that are all like my age. It's just like, whoa, time warp.
That's what makes me giggle, actually, especially when I was in uni and when I was like in my like late 20s, and like the amount of Northern Irish people that I know over here, and it's like Christmas it is. That I was like, they've all gone.
I know.
They've all gone.
I know.
Liverpool's empty because all the Irish students and the Irish professionals have gone home.
I know. Yeah. It is. It's mad. Like, and you're in the airport and you're like, well, how are you? Yeah. well. And
so
then
it is.
going on the apps at home.
Oh, look, there you are.
Is wild. It's like, did I ever leave? Yeah. So that was an interesting experience. But yeah, I do. And because it's so easy to get back from Liverpool as well, like the flights, I know that the flights went a bit funny to Derry. You'd have to fly to Belfast and stuff, but it's not that big of a deal. Like, it's 40 minutes. Like, if you're getting a drink on the flight, by the time they've handed you the drink, you're going down again.
Yeah,
I'm necking me double vodka. Like, I have to get off the plane.
You're buying a double vodka on the bloody plane.
Yes,
Jesus.
yeah. I know. Well, it's a wee treat. I don't get out much. I'm under the stairs doing public health all the time.
So something, just because you just mentioned it then, so I kind of want to touch on it now, is Joseph and Mike and the Collaborative Network, CIC, have launched, well, not launched, it's had 2 years now, hasn't it? The Flower Awards, which is a natural successor to the LGBT Business Awards, but it's been opened up more to community. And in 25, because I need to remember that is last year, not this year, you, to your surprise,
yes,
you won Lifetime Achievement. But when they were like reading out, because obviously that was what someone had nominated, what they were reading out, I'm sitting there going, I didn't know about all this shit. Oh my God.
I've had a bit of a journey. But it was funny because I was nominated for Inspirational Leader of the Year.
Yes.
And I didn't win it. So then I thought,
that's it.
Well, that's it. Well, I can just get on it. I can just have a drink now. So I was sat just drinking away. And Mike apparently had said that he told the security guard he's going to do a runner. Like, he said that my face was like thunder when I didn't win the award. And I was like, I just have that face. It's just my face. Because I genuinely was okay that I didn't win it. But he was like, no, you looked like you were going to like kick off. And he was like, there was a Rory watch. It was like, he's going.
Rory watch?
Yeah, no, there was. It was like, he's going to leave. He's going to go. And I was like, no, I can't believe you think I'm like that. And he's like, I know you're not, but you really did look like you were going to kick off. So then whenever he started reading because he did a little speech about like who the person was. And, and I was like, well, it's not fucking me. And then my mate, Grace, was sat beside me. And you can hear, there's a video of it, you can hear Grace scream because she realizes before me that it's me.
Right.
And they're talking about like he grew up in deprivation, he was a young carer, he's from Derry, he's the first ever non-medic to be an associate postgraduate dean in the NHS. And I was sat like, he's had a wild, hard life.
I mean, as soon as he said Derry, I was like, I think that's Rory.
And then the penny dropped and I was like, shit.
No, then he started crying.
I was so overwhelmed. But it was brilliant because it was at the right time for me because I had a really 25 for me was really rough. Like 2025 is probably the worst year of my life generally.
Yeah.
And that to me was that moment of like, you're on the right path, like, and someone has recognized it. Someone's recognized what you do.
Yeah.
And to be able to be, I actually can't even put it into words how much of a highlight of my actual life that night was.
Really?
Because I didn't get into public health to like be the big I am.
To be
and
celebrated.
You
just did the job.
You just want to help people, don't you? And for someone to like take time to honor me in that way, it really means a lot. And every time I see Mike and Joe now, I'm like, thank you so much.
Every time.
I know they're probably like, we really regret that.
So that was at In Club the other night. You were like,
it's yeah, thank you, please.
Like, fuck off, go speak to someone else. Go get work, Rory. Go get work.
Yeah. I know. I'm so bad at networking.
I hate it.
But I'm always like the person that when someone's talking to them, they're like looking past them. Like, is there someone better here to speak to at this event? No. I hate that.
Like that's just you being a bit, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean.
I hate it.
So mine's there.
Oh yeah, fellow award.
My diversity champion awards there. Where's yours?
It's by my bed.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's by my bed.
I'm not gonna lie, I was waiting for you to go. It's in the bathroom.
It's by my bed. But I was getting ready the other day, and my mate Michael was in the room, and he just went, "Do you ever worry about falling over and killing yourself on that?" I was like,
"Yeah, you are." Right.
Well, not until just now. No, never thought about that. So yeah,
it is literally like a shard.
It is. It's like you could do someone in with it, like.
That's why it's by your bed.
It's like, yeah.
I have a baseball bat next to mine.
Who needs a taser? Yeah.
So they mentioned, I'm trying my best to remember some of the things, but there were some of the things like in regards to being like LGBT and some of the research. Is it research that you've done and stuff like that?
Years ago. So I did research, must have been about 10 years ago, on older lesbian, gay and bisexual people that were experiencing care, like formal care basically needing care homes. So a lot's moved on since then. But at the time, there was a real discussion about should there be specific institutions for older lesbian, gay and bisexual people away from heterosexual older people, so that they would feel that sense of safety and community. Because you're so vulnerable when you're in a care home. The power dynamic's really gone, isn't it? You're at the whim of somebody else because of your body's getting there.
And stuff, yeah.
So with the research I did, and it was across Cheshire, Merseyside, what I found was that they didn't really want that. They didn't want to be like siloed away from everybody.
Yeah.
But what was interesting was when I spoke to women, they just wanted to be with other women.
Okay.
They didn't mind if they were straight, gay, bi, whatever. They just wanted to be around other women. Whereas the older gay men wanted to be around other gay men.
Interesting.
So there was a difference between it. But the overall majority were just like, we just want to be treated with respect.
Yeah.
We'll go into the institution. It's fine, but just be sound, basically.
Yeah, just be nice.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, saying that, I was like, oh right, no, gay men want to be around gay men does sound right.
Yeah.
Just for the obvious reasons of like, especially older ones.
Well, yeah. And what was really interesting was because it was such a privilege hearing these like older people's stories and their life histories, and because I don't know Liverpool like that, like I didn't grow older here or grow here as a young queer person.
Yeah.
But they were talking about their experiences of being on the scene in like the 60s and 70s, and how lesbian women at the time went into like the folk circuit. They were like, because they were refused access to like gay spaces. So like,
they were predominantly
they were gay male spaces. Yeah. And that idea of like the sense of privilege that cis men have in terms of taking over spaces like that. So it was weird because from the gay male perspective, they were waxing lyrical about the good old days. Now it was lovely. Whereas the women were like, you wouldn't let me in.
Spaces,
So they were starting folk circles, and through music, they were like connecting. But what was really interesting was they started to rely more on informal care. So caring for each other, because there was a fear of medical institutions at that time. And then that still lives on a bit in that age group. Because
I also imagine as well, to be fair, because obviously in like the 60s and whatnot, lesbians didn't exist legally.
No. Yeah, true.
The whole thing was around gay men.
Yeah. And if you think about even recently, we were only included in the census in 2021.
Yeah.
There's no national data set of where are they?
Where are the gays?
We're all hiding under the stairs, clearly. But then, so there was always just rough estimates of what percentage of people identified as LGBT. So it was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
What's happening? So I'm glad but I think as well as queer people, we have a responsibility to not forget the stories of the previous generations.
Yep, absolutely.
Because our culture tends to be very youth and beauty focused. And that was them at that point. It's a privilege to age. I turned 40 recently, so this is my mantra. It is a privilege to age. And it is. And especially amongst queer people, like, there was diseases around like HIV that was a life sentence at that time. Yep. But now it's just, you just live with it. You just take a pill. It's fine. Like, it's just a long-term condition. So we now have cohorts of older, predominantly men who have sex with men, that would never have got to that age group if they had that that virus years ago. So we have to move with the times. And I just hope that having people like myself in positions of power within health and public health, I can help shape that narrative to bring people along on the journey. Like,
I imagine it's a very much I don't want to say this phrase because when I was in Northern Ireland, this gets used against the political party. Pale, male, and stale.
Oh yes, I get what you're.
I can imagine that your peers, shall we say, are of a certain demographic.
Those are your words, not
mine.
My
words.
Yeah.
I claim the words. It's like anything that's like STEM related. It's a very male dominated, and I imagine the bosses, shall we say, are older men.
Yes. Yeah. And that kind of, even think about the institutions that we work within, particularly when I was an academic, all your tenured professors and things were cis, white, straight men. And that's one thing I'm very aware of because I had another hat on. So I mentioned before, I was Associate Postgraduate Dean for NHS England.
Yes.
So I was responsible for EDI training, EDI of like doctors in training across the Northwest.
Okay.
So because they go through it, junior doctors training, they go through it, and particularly those with protected characteristics. But what I was very aware of whenever I had that hat on was I'm a cis white man. So where I want to give voice to people that might struggle to have their voice heard. So if there's a black trans woman in the room, I would much rather hear from her than hear from me because there's a million me's in those seats. So, but it's also being able to have those opportunities to do that without coming across like tokenistic or patronizing.
Yeah, I think that is the challenge I find sometimes. It's like, no, I don't want to put you in because you tick a box.
Yes.
Because I want to hear your voice.
I want to hear what you have to say, because inherently I don't want to make an inference or assume what your life's like. I want to hear from you, because I love talking. I'm going to tell you what my life's like.
Yeah.
So, but again, that's because I've had inherent years of privilege where I wasn't told to shut up.
Yeah. Rory, shut up.
To be fair, that's probably for the best.
No, it is really interesting, and this is why I love doing these. I love hearing those stories, and when someone can speak so passionately about how, I wouldn't necessarily say how your background like has kind of shaped you, because I feel like a lot of it has not been accidental, but it's just been right place, right time, going for it, which I feel like is a lot of the cases. Definitely is with me, but it's what you then do with it.
Yeah, and I do believe in like just leaning into what the universe has given you. Like, and even because you've just made me think of something there, even talking about Buffy before. The reason why I started doing psychology as an undergraduate is because Buffy did psychology as an undergraduate. Because I was watching through it, because I didn't watch it when it aired on TV. I watched it on DVD because my friend Mark gave me the box sets at the time, and she drops out. So I did my application, then Buffy drops out. So I was like, well, I'm stuck now, I guess. So I actually have Buffy weirdly to thank for my career.
I love that.
Yeah, I've never thought about it like that before.
What would Buffy do? She'd drop out. Shit, I can't do that.
I know. Well, shit. Like, no, because we had no money. That was not an option. That was not, my ma would have just taken the shoe off her foot and just slapped me over the head with it.
Why did you do that?
Buffy did it. She'd be like, does Buffy bring bread into this house? I think not. So, like, you've lived in Ireland, you know the woman there, you do not cross them.
So, okay. Yes, this is very true. This is very true. Just... you started doing psychology because Buffy did it.
Yes.
But what was the plan?
There was none.
It was just,
there was no
let's
plan.
just get the degree in
and that's why I did the PhD, because I was like, well, what do I do now? What is this degree? And then my PhD was in nutritional psychology. So I was in these offices with these people doing like really, really sexy degrees. Like one person was doing one on bats. I knew a guy that was doing, like, we called him Batman. He was doing like a PhD on bats.
Of course.
Right. And then they were like, what's your PhD on? And I was like, eating fruit as a snack. No, in my defense, Johnny, this was very cutting edge at the time.
Okay, fair.
But now it wouldn't even be a master's. It would be like, are you messing? Like, you just put the apples by the till and people will buy them. But no one knew that at the time. I'm old.
So you're part of the 5 a day.
Yes. I'm do as I say, not as I do, I would say, in that regard. You know, I don't eat. My diet's shocking. Like, I know, and I live for the weekends, and I really shouldn't be doing that either. But it's one of them where, again, if I feel like I'm making the world a bit better than how I found it, I've done my job. So, and if that doesn't apply to me, then that's fine. And that is, I will go to bed with that at night and think.
Even just from the, like, you know, from what we've talked about today in this last half an hour, like, I think you'd have me.
Well, yeah, I hope so. Well, according to the City Region of Liverpool LGBT Awards, yes, I have. So that's why it's by my bed being like, yeah, you've done it. But yeah, I'm just made up, and I'm so I'm really, I always feel very privileged to be in the position that I am in, and especially being an openly gay director of public health. That's not something you see often, and particularly being my age as well. So I got tested for HIV on camera this week to try and destigmatize getting tested for testing week. It's those types of things. I think that if I were a young queer man, I would have wanted to see those role models. And I don't remember seeing them, to be honest. I got asked a question recently because I did a piece for Sefton Council on LGBT History Month. And one of the questions was, who was your LGBT idol growing up? I couldn't answer it. I didn't have one.
Can you list them?
Does Cher count?
Yeah, I think she does.
I think she does. So yeah, I was just like, probably skip that one. I don't know.
Yeah, but to be fair though, I mean, imagine the people who were making that of probably the young comms people. I can understand that, but that is an answer in itself.
I know.
I haven't got one because they weren't visible.
They weren't visible. Yeah. And I couldn't connect with them, which is why I've always, like, I love video games. I love horror movies. I'm obsessed with horror movies. But
Resident Evil 9 comes out soon, I think.
Yes. I've got it pre-ordered. Yeah. I've got 2 days off from work. That's a director of public health is taking 2 days off from work to play Resident Evil. And I do it again. But the reason why I love those games, like Jill Valentine, Kitana from Mortal Kombat, these are strong women.
Yeah.
But a lot of their stories, when you start unpicking it, like, because I grew up in a single parent household, my dad was a shit. Kitana's dad is a tyrant, so he's pretty much a shit. Jill Valentine has the worst time ever. Like, things are getting thrown at her all the time. And that sense of resilience through power and strength, I would love to, I'm not saying I'm the Jill Valentine for a young queer person, but I'd love to be able to be that visual person, even at this regional level, to say, look, so I should mention that I'm a mentor for Just Like Us,
okay.
which is, for those that don't know, it's a program where they'll pair a young LGBT person up with someone in a career they're quite advanced in their career,
Right, I get you.
related to an area that they're interested in. Because sometimes you don't know where to start and you don't know things like office culture and cold calling and how do you apply for things and how to get your career trajectory off. And I currently mentor a young guy that's based in London who wants to be a public health consultant. And he found, well, the organization found me and approached me because they found articles that were in the Echo about me trying to be visible and openly gay. So there's little things that you can do to chip away to try and be that. I'm going to say that. I'm just trying to be a bit more Jill Valentine, a bit more Buffy, public health Buffy.
As you were saying it, I was like, yeah, it is Buffy, Jill Valentine. As much, Resident Evil 3 Jill Valentine, sick as.
Ultimate Jill.
And then she just disappeared.
I know.
Let's not have a Jill sandwich.
She's deep undercover. Let's not have a Jill sandwich. She's deep undercover. She's coming back. She's coming back.
She has to.
Yeah, she's too stunned. You can't keep that woman down.
I'm just conscious of time.
Yeah.
You've got to go for dinner. Go for a drink on the lane first. If people want to find out more about yourself, or even what you do, where can they go? Whether it's online or if they want to come into Sefton's public health department, where can they go?
So on all socials, I'm Kitana Valentine, which mightn't be surprising.
Now it makes sense.
Yes.
Now you've explained that.
Yeah.
You know what? I was wondering. At first, I thought it was just Kit.
No.
As in, not that I'm saying you're putting off to Kit Connor.
Oh, yeah.
But that's when my brain went. Because when you messaged me about checking out the podcast, I was like, obviously on my watch, it just come up with your handle.
Yeah.
What the fuck's that?
No, I know.
It was you.
Yeah. So I probably should change that, but professionally, everything I just use it like as much as you use X these days. But my area of specialism is suicide prevention. And I think that anybody living in Cheshire, Merseyside, if you are struggling with your mental health, there's a website called Be Kind to Your Mind. And if you log into that, you'll get access to a portal where you can develop your own personal plan, and it'll link you up with free at the point of access services in your local area where you can explore some issues that you might be facing. So if that's one thing that I could get people to take away from, that would be awesome.
So first off, Kitana Valentine.
Kitana Valentine on all socials. Yeah, you'll probably not see a lot of public health on there.
That's just to follow your social life. But be kind to yourself, was that?
Be kind to your mind.
Be kind to your mind.
Yes.
That's a really nice little takeaway.
It is, yeah. And I think we should all be a bit kinder to our mind considering the hellscape that we live in at the minute.
Especially for queer people.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is tough out there. Be kind to yourselves. Have the bath hen. Do you know what I mean? Have some self-care.
Sorry, my brain was delayed there. And I had the bath hen. that just clicked in my brain. I was like, oh, that's funny.
Do you know what I mean? Protect your health is wealth, isn't it?
Yeah.
And protect your time. Put up those boundaries. Say no.
Say no.
Say no. The power of no. I've learned that the hard way.
Power of no. And let them.
Let
them theory.
Helen in work just told me about this today. Yeah, it's on my list.
I mean, I need to I've never read the book. I just understand the theory. Someone shared it with me, and I was like, yeah, I need to do that because I've got a bad thing of letting other people's opinions bother me too much.
I know we're running out of time, but in Derry we have a phrase, and it's digi.
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 Oh, digi.
Digi.
Yeah.
So it's very let them. It's like you could be sitting there being the biggest crank, and you just go digi.
I love that.
Digi. That's grand.
I can hear that. I can hear the tone of it. Someone sitting there chatting shit.
Digi.
Okay. No, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks so much for having me. It's awesome.
Theo's gave up on you now. He's now squashed himself.
I love that little spud.
And you will get up now and be like, you disturbed me.
Yeah.
But no, I hope if this has opened eyes to anybody, whether it's the fact that you're in a role that not many people like us have been in, or just some of the things you talked about, then that's the job done.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You've been listening to Proudly Said. Now, if it meant something to you, why not pass it on? If it didn't, maybe it will one day. Either way, stay kind, stay loud, and stay proud.